understanding money is a 21st century survival skill.
Mhm.
And understanding money is not organic. We are not born with brains that understand this artificial construct. It's not natural, called money.
Mhm.
And so a lot of people have parts that really beat the system up because their brain isn't doing money well. Well, that's about 70% of
Mhm.
brains. It's really the abnormal internal financial system that does money well.
I love that internal financial system.
Yeah, I kind of stumbled on that, and it's so descriptive of what's going on.
Yeah.
And so, understanding money, getting money skills, which are not natural, working with those parts that don't think they're smart enough to do money,
Mhm.
um, that have been so wounded and traumatized, is so important.
Mhm. Mhm. 70% is a really high number of kiddos walking around with lots of money or making financial decisions.
It is, and I come to that number, and the number could be 50 to actually 80%
Mm.
of people would have to sell something or borrow to come up with $1,000.
Mhm.
That's an epidemic.
Yeah. Mhm.
So it is a niche. There's no question about that because it brings together the dollars and cents of money and the depth of let's just say addressing trauma.
Mhm.
And that's a very broad continuum.
Mhm. Mhm.
Sometimes in doing financial therapy, I'm talking a lot about dollars and cents kind of in parts language.
Mhm.
And then we can be doing a part session with the, unburdening of these wounded parts and everything in between.
Mhm.
So it is a very interesting niche and one I didn't even know if it was possible when I started. There are no books written on how to do
Mhm.
financial therapy, especially with an IFS overlay.
Mhm.
But I have found it incredibly helpful. I'm very biased toward the use of IFS with financial therapy.
Well,
Imagine that.
even I'm thinking of how this feels like such a missing piece, right? Like 50 to 80% of people have financial trauma, right? And how rare it is that money is even brought up in trauma therapy, right? So you do the attachment trauma processing, you do all of this different healing, but what it seems like it's never or rarely talked about are the money scripts or parts that are clustered around a burdened belief around money, right? And so it's almost like this intentionally is widening our scope to invite in parts that might be clustered around these money pieces, right? And not discounting the trauma work at the same time, right? But giving us that wider holding space almost to invite in more parts or even to notice that clients might have these parts.
It's very avoided in therapy. I was in group therapy for 12 years, and that's where I started fantasizing, probably rather than paying attention in group. How come we never talk about money here?
Mhm.
We talk about sex a lot.
Mhm.
Money, if it's touched on, we get off of it very quickly. And that really was the impetus for me in starting this back 2005, 2006, of saying, what would happen if we did psychodrama, group therapy around money?
Mhm. Mhm.
That's where it started long before I knew IFS even existed.
Mhm. Yeah. This feels also important because why is it so avoided? Well, probably because the therapists aren't working on their own money scripts. And we know that we have to do our own work before we can guide clients to those spaces in their own systems, right? So not only is this training going to be helpful for therapists to say, oh, this is my money script, or oh, there's a cluster of parts around money. Oh, there's a trailhead, but then they're also going to learn how to apply this with their clients at the same time or how to get curious about some of these clusters of parts and money scripts also at the same
But
time.
we know as therapists, as we do our own work, that translates to being able to hold that space for the client.
Yeah.
So we've got to start with ourselves. This is not head knowledge. This is
Mhm,
heart
mhm,
knowledge,
mhm,
soulful knowledge, and exile work knowledge. So yes, in the master class, we'll have a chance for everybody to work with one of their parts around money, kind of get to know it more, do a little interview, and so it'll be kind of a blend of didactic and experiential.
mhm. Those are the best IFS trainings because that's so IFS, right? You can learn all the to-dos and skills and protocols, but if you don't do your own inner work, right, you're not going to be showing up as well as you could be if both of those are together.
Right.
So I think those are the best IFS trainings.
Yeah, we'll probably open up a few trailheads that
Mhm,
then can be explored.
mhm.